listen, don't get me wrong. Like, we're all working for a reason, right? We're all working to get money. We're all working to better our lives, right? We're all working to help our families for the most part, right? Like, we're all, striving to have better lives. I get that. But if your sole reason is to only get those things or to have those things, not saying that you're never going to reach your destination, but you're more than likely to be upset because the destination isn't coming quick enough for you. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Surface podcast. I'm your host, Michael Benton. Listen, before I jump into this content, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. Obviously, it supports me, it supports the content, and most importantly, it keeps you guys up to date on what's going on with the channel. Let's jump in. Let me ask you guys a question. Would you still chase your dream if you knew that it would take you 13 years, or worse, if it never came to fruition? So I was posed with this question not too long ago, and it literally stopped me in my tracks, and it definitely had me thinking super, super hard about my own, motives as it pertains to, the things that I'm striving for, the things that I'm doing in my life. And so I was listening to Myron Goldman here on YouTube, and he had posed that question. And like I said, I found myself thinking, like, damn, like, would I keep going? Or would I bow out quietly because it was taking too long? That question exposed something in me at that time. Was I chasing a dream for the results? Was I chasing it because I truly was called to do it, because I really wanted to do it? And I wanted to talk to you guys about that and pose that to you guys too, because I can't be the only one who kind of sat back and was like, yo, like, am I really doing this for the right reasons? Is this really something that I'm called to do? I don't know. And so I think why this question matters is because I think a lot of people like the idea or love the idea of goals until things get uncomfortable or it gets inconvenient for them, because they then shy away from the goals, they lessen their goals, right? Or they just stop completely. And I think this question truly helps us understand our true motives as to why we do what we do. We're definitely in a culture in which we chase, speed, likes, validation, right? I mean, we're in a world where you can literally get anything you want at the brink of your fingertips, right at the comfort of your own home, right? Right. It comes right to your door if you need it, anything, right? And so I think this question makes you kind of slow down and ask yourself, like, what is this for real? Am I doing the things that I'm doing? Is it for real? Like, am I doing it because I actually truly love it? I'm called to do it. It's a passion of mine. It drives me. It's more than just myself. Or I'm only doing this to make money. I'm only doing this to get the big house. I'm only doing this to get the validation. I'm only doing this to get the girl or the guy. I don't know. That's a question that you definitely need to answer for yourself. I think the true dream is about who you become in the process. Now, early on, I listen to a lot of self-improvement, self-development people. I watch a lot of videos, right? I do my own research and I journal a lot and introspect and all that stuff, right? So I listen to a lot of people. And I think my earlier perception, if you had asked me, was that the most important thing was the result, right? Like, why am I working if I'm not focused on making money, if I'm not focused on feeding my family? Like, what's the point, right? I'm in it for the money. I think one of the key things that we should begin to develop in our mind is that we should focus on not the dream, but who we're becoming in the process, right? If it's going to take us 13 years to bring our dreams to fruition, we should be focused on who it is that we're becoming in that time frame, right? Let me pose something to you. Let's say that you developed a millionaire mindset, meaning you developed the skills to become a millionaire. You developed what it takes, the characteristics, the behavior, the values, the morals of someone who's a millionaire, right? So let's say that you developed that and then you became bankrupt or you went broke for whatever reason, right? Because you developed the millionaire mindset and you have the skills, you're more than likely going to be able to get back to becoming a millionaire, right? Versus the person who doesn't necessarily focus on the mindset or the skills or the behavior or the characteristics, and they're more so just running on fumes, right? They're running on willpower, right? They're running on sheer desire. Now, that person, should they ever go broke or bankrupt, is probably less likely to repeat getting themselves back to becoming a millionaire, or it might take even longer because they haven't developed the skills in which they can, lessen the years or the time that they would need to become a millionaire. Does that make sense? So if you focus more on the characteristics, you focus more on the person that you're becoming, right, in that time frame, you're going to be able to get the results that you're looking for. But most importantly, it's who you're developing yourself into. For me, for instance, right? Like for me, I find it when I was journaling to this question, I found that doing the podcast, helping, serving others, writing a book, writing in general, like giving people advice, that was way more valuable to me than had I never reached my end result of the things that I want. I would still be okay with still doing those things. I'd still be okay with putting out podcast content. I'd still be okay with helping other people. I'd still be okay with giving people advice and having deep conversations. I would still be okay with, because I'm contributing to society in a meaningful way, right? My contributions that I've brought to the world are going to outlast myself, right, physically, and it's going to outweigh the results, right, the money and the things, the material things, right, the accolades, right, the trophies, the trips. My contributions are going to outweigh those things in my mind 10 times out of 10, right? It's everlasting content. It's everlasting knowledge that can be passed down, that most importantly is going to help someone else achieve their goals and get what they're going after. Does that make sense? So I think we should focus on the 13-year journey, if that's the case for us, is becoming who we are in that time process. You guys also got to understand, you're not in control of the timeline. No one knows how long or how short something is going to take when they start it. If you open a business, typically, right, on average, a business, it takes 3 to 4 years before that business starts seeing profit. Well, you don't know how long that's going to take. So if your mind is wrapped in the results and you're results driven, you're more likely to probably be disappointed, right? Because things may not be coming fast enough for you. That was me. I had a huge complex, if you will, about getting the results fast. If I put even just the minimum amount of effort into something, I was expecting to have a result right away, right? And so I can only implore that you guys look to just alter your perception about that. Look to alter your mindset about that. I want you guys to understand that we're not in control of the timelines here. Like, we don't control when death is going to happen. We don't control when our business is going to flourish, right? We don't control when we reach the pinnacle, we reach the success. We don't control when, we meet the wife or we meet the husband. Like, I hope you guys understand that we're not in control of those timelines, right? Those things are happening far beyond our scope of power. I want to highlight the pressure that comes with trying to predict the outcomes. Listen, I am the most guilty culprit of being a guy who wanted things to happen fast. If I put the minimum amount of effort into something, I was expecting a result right away, right? And too many times I've found myself upset, sad, depressed, pissed off because I'm putting in all this effort. I'm putting in the time and it's still not coming fast enough. I'm still not where I want to be, right? And that is a slippery slope, right? That's a roller coaster that you're not going to get off of, right? Because it's going to be a lot of ups and downs, and you're just going to find yourself very, very like just distracted and down and out, because you're too focused on what you don't have. You're too focused on the lack, and you're not focused on the gratitude of having what you have, and becoming who you are in this journey, in this process that we're all in. Listen, you're not behind, you're becoming, right? You are in the situation, circumstance that you're in right now for a reason. Now, you may not be able to see that because you're so wrapped up in your feelings and the emotions, and you're focusing on the negative stuff that's happening to you, when actually it's happening for you, right? But if you're in a storm, there's a lesson to be learned. There's a reason why you are in the situation or circumstance that you're in. You're being taught that there is something that you need to overcome, do, act upon, that is going to propel you to the next lesson. That way, when you reach this lesson again, you can move past it. You won't keep running into the same thing, the same problem over and over again. So it's important that you guys find out, understand, listen, interpret, right? Internalize what is being taught to you in this storm that you're in, right? And what can you do to make better decisions? What can you do to take more actions or better actions? That way, when you can just move to the next phase, right? And you're not working backwards. You got to look at people like Tyler Perry, Mel Robbins, who else? Samuel L. Jackson, Colonel Sanders, right? These are all stories that we've heard, but these are all people that have had late success. I think Mel Robbins didn't pop off until she was 41. Look that up. I believe that's true, though. I know Samuel L. Jackson didn't get his movie start until he was like 47, right? And then it just blew up from there for him, right? Tyler Perry as well. Like, everyone goes through. Not everyone is a quick success. Not everyone has the immediate gratification that they get from whatever they develop, or whatever career that they're in, or whatever, whatever. Some people just take longer than others. You might be one of those people. I might be one of those people. I'll be 40 in August, and am I where I would like to be right now? No. But that could change for me in 6 months. That could change for me in 2 weeks, or that can change for me in 12 years. I have no idea. I think the most important thing, like I said before, is to stay focused on the true motives of why I'm doing what I'm doing, why you're doing what you're doing, right? Your purpose does not need an applause. Would you still be doing what you're doing if no one ever noticed? Ask yourself that. Would you still be doing what you're doing if no one ever noticed it? That's a powerful question to ask yourself. And I think a lot of you are probably going to be like shocked as to what your true answer is. If you're being truly honest with yourself, a lot of you guys are going to have an answer that you're probably like, shit. Like it's going to do what it did to me. It's going to stop you in your tracks. Because if it's really in you, then it's not about them, or it's not about the things that you obtain from what it is that you're doing. It's about the alignment of who you are. It's about being true to yourself. It's about knowing your values. It's about being the character and having the traits of the characteristics of the person that you want to become, right? It's about being a giver. It's about helping others, right? And it's not so much about what you can obtain from whatever it is that you're doing. Listen, don't get me wrong. Like, we're all working for a reason, right? We're all working to get money. We're all working to better our lives, right? We're all working to help our families for the most part, right? Like, we're all, striving to have better lives. I get that. But if your sole reason is to only get those things or to have those things, Not saying that you're never going to reach your destination, but you're more than likely to be upset because the destination isn't coming quick enough for you. Because the only thing in your mind that you're thinking about, I got to get the money. I got to get the money. All I want is the money. I got to get the girl. I got to get the house. I got to get the car. I got to have the lifestyle. Right? I got to have financial freedom. Whatever it is. That's the only thing you're focused on. And you're less focused on, what are my true motives? Am I here to really serve people? Do I want to become a better person? Do I care about having good values and morals? Do I care about being a responsible father or mother? You know, this question really cracked something open for me. It really opened my eyes, and maybe it will do the same for you too. But I challenge you guys. I want to ask you, each and every one of you guys that are listening and watching, if it took you 13 years, would you still show up? And if you knew that it would never happen, would you still chase it? If this episode hits you in any type of way, please tag me on IG at Michael_A_Benton. I'd love to hear your answer. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. And also to send it to someone that's grinding in silence right now. I want to thank you guys again for tuning in to Beyond the Surface podcast. Again, I'm your host, Michael Benton, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.